What's up, GERO 200? It is June 15th. Today is Saturday, and a little late in getting this out to you, but it's all good. I think you guys have already figured it out. You just follow the directions that have been so clearly laid out by Julie and I that you're good in terms of your second short paper. It's an analytical paper, and that's your critical thinking assignment number 2 that's due on Monday, okay, and the 17th. And this one's all about figuring out on your own what it's like to do some financial planning, some investing, okay, so that your money will grow and you'll be wealthy someday. All right, and it's kind of effortless. You just kind of look the other way. All right, alrighty. So again, this is due on Monday the 17th. You will see this on the syllabus. You see it everywhere. Julie has set up all these things right here. That's letting you know that things are coming up right here, and we send out the email as well and let you know what's going on. You have the midterm going on. You see that right there. But what we're going to do, instead of using the content, I'm going to just go ahead and use the widget down here. And we are going to look for, there it is, assignments. And this is the second one, critical thinking assignment number 2. All right. Okay. So awesome on this. And we see that assignment 1 was due June 3rd. You guys did great on that, all graded and looked perfect, okay? Same drill here on CT2. Okay, I'm scrolling down. There it is, due on the 17th, okay? So you knew that. And my talks are being all sentry-like over there. They see something. I don't know, guys. All right. Okay, so it's 2 to 3 pages of written analysis, and then you'll include charts. Okay, you're going to have 2 scenarios for a 401k. You're going to have 2 scenarios for the individual retirement account, also known as an IRA. Beyond that, you need to explain things. Okay, so that's what we're asking you to do. All right. So there's a slide deck here that explains everything that I'm going to go through, and then this is the short version. All right, and this short version right here. These links are from the slide deck. They work there. They're not working in this JPEG that we put into Brightspace, okay? But it tells you exactly what you need to do. 2 different scenarios on your 401k, describe the changes that you made, and then you describe how that changed the outcome, okay? You're going to provide some figures, some screen captures that illustrate that, and I'll show you in a second, okay? And then we're also asking you to become familiar with what are the federal limits in terms of what you can do with your 401k. How much money can you put in it annually? And then lastly, we're going to describe to you why your money grew so much, okay? And why you had such a gain on your return, and the concept of if you make 7% on your money, for example, which we have routinely done, how that compounds annually and you make more and more money. For example, okay, we could do an investment of $1,000, okay? And I'm just going to assume that when I invest that money this year, that I'm going to get a 7% return on that investment. That means the value of the stocks, the companies are going to grow, okay, if I put it into the stock market. And so at the end of the year, even though I didn't touch it, I put my $1,000 in there. At the end of the year, I got $70. Boom, okay. So next year comes by, okay, and 1,070 gets the gain on it, okay, the return on my investment, and now it's 7% of 1,070, okay? And you see how that works, okay? And it just grows and grows and grows. Your principal grows, and you keep applying that return on the investment, and at the end, even if you put in $1,000 this year, and you come back and you look at it maybe in 30 years, and all you did is you just stuck it in and didn't do anything but rely upon the gain that you're going to make, that $1,000 can grow into $10,000, so that $1,000 can grow into 30. You don't know. All right. So the difference being in these 2 scenarios, you can be putting money in every single year. Okay. With this, it's important to think about the 401k because it's money that is free money. You get hired with a salary for a job, so you just shop around and say, yeah, what's your 401k plan like? Do you have matching funds? Meaning if I put in $5, you put in 10, something like that, and that's just new money, okay, which is cool. This right here is your own personal thing that you do. We have both 401ks and we take extra money we put them into what are called IRAs. The whole reason we're doing all this is right now I make too much money, and so I shield that money from taxation. All right, so by putting it into these accounts, it's tax deferred, meaning I'm not going to pay any taxes on this money until I start spending it, which, you know, I started doing this a long time ago. So maybe when I'm, you know, I'm 68, maybe when I'm 72 and I start spending it, then I will pay taxes on how much I spend that year. So it's equivalent to your salary is how much you spend that year. And you know, if I'm making 400 grand right now, okay, and so I'm at a really high tax bracket, but then I retire and I start spending the money in my accounts, and I'm spending say 150,000 or even $200,000 a year. That money as I spend it is at a much lower tax rate, so it's a win. Okay, that's why you do this stuff, my friends. All right, so this is the rubric that explains everything. Again, two examples of an individual retirement account. You're going to use the links to the AARP calculators, and then two examples of the 401k. By the way, we changed this assignment about a semester ago. We use different calculators, so be wary of that, okay? Don't go look into some friend's paper because they're going to have the wrong information and you're going to get a zero, all right? What is the difference between an IRA and a Roth IRA? Okay, so really important stuff. Okay, one, you put the Roth IRA, you do it now when you're young and your tax bracket is nothing. Okay, let's say you're making 25, 30 grand a year, but you're living at home. Okay, so take the maximum amount was $6,500 a year, stick it into a Roth IRA. You pay taxes on it before you put it in there, but your tax bracket, instead of being like mine, which is 37% of my money goes to taxes, yours might be 4% because you're only making 25 grand a year. Okay, so then you take that 6,500, okay, after taxes. So you spent, you know, you got just, you know, a couple $100 taken out of for taxes. You put it into the stock market, it grows. Then when you're rich and retired, when you're 70 or 60, and that $6,500 that you've put in every year is now worth $2 million, you don't pay any taxes on it at all right? So that's the beauty of doing the Roth IRA when you're, you know, at a much lower tax bracket. Okay, so you'll explain that the IRA, individual retirement account, is tax deferred. Okay, all right. So I pay taxes straight up on the money I working at McDonald's, put it into the stock market, and then I don't pay taxes on it later on. The other one, you defer to the point where, same thing with a 401k. In a regular IRA, defer till you start spending that money, then you pay taxes on it. So if your expenses are $1 million a year, then you're going to pay at a high tax rate, right? So understand the limits, okay, and I'll show you where to get all these resources, okay? Here's some FAQs about how to do it, okay? And this is the type of figures that you can generate, okay? This is the analysis that also is generated in these calculators, which is awesome, okay? And then this is how you input the data. So I'll show you all that in a sec, all right? All right, so that's the drill. Don't forget, always look at the rubric, okay? Awesome. All right, so where are we going to head with this? Let's go to the slide deck. All right. Awesome. All right, so this one just happened to play out, so I can't use the grab bar on it. Okay, so no grab bar here, even if I do that. So I just have to go page by page. This is why we're doing it. Okay, so read up. These are the goals of this. Okay, and then think about, you know, we're going over and over this class. There's so many people in America that have no retirement accounts. All right, so now we can do the hypertext link is active in this PDF file. Okay, so we can go into here. Let's before we go in there, we're gonna ask you again 2 scenarios, explains everything what's going on. Federal limits. Okay, how does compounding work? Why does your money grow so much? Okay, alrighty, figures. Okay, tell us what the change in the account is. Okay, just like I told you, here's the rubric. Boom. For those of you guys that do become money managed financial planners, you're gonna have to sit down and do a lot more besides just the investing. You're gonna have to help people set up budgets so they can invest. So there's this really cool training in ARP. You can go in here, there's all these tools. It's just about setting up budgets and things like that, okay? Alrighty, so here's my hypertext link again. Here's my calculator, my 401k savings. Let's just see what happened when I played around with it, okay? Alrighty, so what I did in my first scenario is I did a one-to-one match, meaning I put in 5% of my salary, okay? So let's say that was $100,000, and you see there's limits, you know? If I'm making $1 million a year, I can't put in 5% of my salary because the federal government limits how much you can put into a tax-deferred account like a 401k annually, okay? So, you know, for me, it's somewhere in the high 20s. I think it's around 28,000. I can't remember right now at the top of my head. And then with the match, it brings it up to close to $60,000 a year that I can put away. But you know, if you're making millions, then the federal government won't let you put in 5% or whatever it is. Okay, that's all put into this calculator. All right. So what you do is you put in your annual salary right here. All right. This I said 5% to contribute. Okay, this is my guess on an increase in salary, 5.2%. That would be great. More realistic is around 3%. Okay, this is my current age. That's my age. I'm going to retire, and we're going to watch my money grow right here. Okay, all right. This is the current balance of my 401k. I just started my job. Okay, I'm saying a 7% return on my investments every year. That's a reasonable request. Okay. You guys will learn how to do this on your own as well. Believe me, you don't need a financial planner to do this. Okay, and we're going to talk about that in this lecture from this week. Alrighty, so right here, okay, it says employer match. So I clicked on it, and I put right here, so 100%. Okay, so that's 10% match. Okay, that is their max. So I put 100. So if I put in 5%, they're going to match that 5%. All right, that's what I did. All right, so that you can, you know, do screen captures and all that. This is how it looks right here. Okay, and what they're showing here is what happens to your money. Yes, the money you put in, 5% of your salary, if there is no employer match, and this is what happened if there is an employer match. So you see, this is huge money to be made. Okay, these are the end results. Almost 4 million, and this is almost 3 million, just 2.766 million when there was employer match. You see it's not linear, okay? Why is it showing this exponential growth? That's the effect of compounding, all right? All right, so, and I put some verbiage in there. This is the actual numbers showing it grow over a 30-year period of time. So this is the amount of money that I contribute with no employer match, okay? So this is how, so I put in $470,000, but at the end of my investment period, okay, which was, you know, about 30 years of working, even though I put in 470,000, the value of my investment now is almost 1.4 million. That's from compounding. How awesome is that, guys? Okay, we can look at scenario number 2. Again, this was where I was having a 5% input and then an employer match of 1-to-1. Okay, so and here it is right again. This is my employer match of 1-to-1 right here. Okay, so again, this is just the growth right here. Now let's add my employer match. Okay, so this is just my money growing 7% annually without any employer match. I don't know if I was clear on that, but I am now. All right, now we look at the 1-to-1 scenario. I put in 5%, USC put in 5%. Okay, so same amount of money. That's my principal that I invested. So you can see if we go back, so we see right here, same amount of money. That's how much I put in. Okay, all right, same amount of money. Okay, this is how much we put in. But what's going on here is with the match. So this is my money. This is the 1-to-1 match. Okay, so that's how much USC put in. So all right, so go back. That's how much I put in. Green box. That's how much USC put in. All right, so that's coming out to $940,000. Okay, if it was just my money right here, that's how much I made. And we showed that in the previous figure. Now with the employer match, okay, I have now almost $3 million put away. Awesome. All right, so you can read through the verbiage and it explains everything. Okay, Now I'm going to go into my second scenario, and I'm going to say scenario 2. How about a 2-to-1 match? Believe it or not, USC does that for, I have a 9-month salary that is guaranteed, and so for your 9-month salary, not your 12-month salary, their 9-month salary, USC will match it 2-to-1. All right, so I go into that. Okay, so let's go back. How much did I make with 1-to-1? I was making 2.7 million with my employer match. Now, if we go 2-to-1, let's go check this out. Okay, so it jumped from 2.7 million to 4.14 million. All right, so that's my second scenario. Awesome. This is my same principle that I put in, same amount there, remember about 1.4 million, but with a 2-to-1 match, you see how much bigger it got. All right, that's how that works. Okay, this is my money, this is how much I contributed, this is the gain at 7% annually at the end of my 30 years. Okay, and you see I've done pretty well. All right, now if we look at employer match, okay, 2-to-1. So remember before it was 470, here it is 2-to-1. Now you see it's not exactly 2-to-1, okay? There's going to be, you have to consider the federal limits, okay? But still, look at that big gain here compared to there. Just, if there is no match, I'm making 1.4. There is match, I'm making almost over $4 million, all right? Okay, so I said 5.2% increase in salary. Maybe that's not realistic. Here's an easy way to use compounding to calculate your salary. Let's say a 3% raise annually. Just go in there and it just tells you what your salary would be at the end of 35 years. All right. So here's one right here, 5.2%. Here's a 3%. Okay, 5.2%. I would be making $589,000 at the end of my 30 years, and this 35 years, sorry, and this is $280,000 if I have a 3%. All right, next 3 slides shows you about the federal limits. How do you figure this out? See that question mark right there? It pumps this out. You can use this slide deck, okay? It tells you what the federal limits are, how much you can put in annually, all right? So I can put in 22,500. So my numbers are wrong. That's how much it is, okay? Alrighty, and then you can also then go and look at what the limits are in terms of the employer match, and so this is showing you that right there. Okay, alrighty, all right. So figure it out, guys. Okay, here's the IRA. It's the same drill, different calculator. Okay, and so you're just gonna go and put in your numbers. Okay, and this is sorry, right here. Blow this up a little bit so I can see what I'm saying right here. Okay, and okay. All right, so this is if you just took your salary and put it into a taxable account, and this is what it looks like if you use an IRA. Okay, so showing the gain that you get. All right, sorry about that. All right, so awesome. All right, so same drill here. Different scenarios, okay? So this is the growth that you're gonna see if you just put it away somewhere crappy or if you did an IRA. So if you put it in the savings account versus an IRA, how much money, more money you'll make in the account. Again, this is something you do on your own. There's federal limits, $6,500 a year. Can't go past that, all right? And you can certainly invest money in other accounts. Those are called brokerage accounts, but on those accounts, you pay a much higher tax level than you do in IRAs. So IRA is just like asking people, please put this away for retirement, please, okay? Whereas, if you're willing to risk your money in a brokerage account, you get big gains, you just pay capital gains tax on it, which is a much higher level, okay? Awesome, all righty. So again, we have scenario 1 and scenario 2, okay? And you just compare those outcomes. All right, guys, that's it. Pretty straightforward stuff. I look forward to seeing your outcome, your investment strategies and your outcomes. Hopefully you'll learn a lot about this. All right, peace.